Hey, how you doing? My name is Dan McDonald. I'm the Life Regenerator here on YouTube, and I want to thank you for joining me for today's episode of the Life Regenerator Show. Today I wanted to share with you a beautifully brilliant and simple recipe. This is called chocolate milk, but there's a big difference between the cacao and the carob. Yes, carob is in the legume family, but sometimes it's botanically considered a fruit. Either way, it's sweet. But the beautiful thing about carob is that it doesn't have any of the downside effects of the cacao or the chocolate. And it has a lot of antioxidant and anti-inflammatory purposes, so it can be very soothing for people with gastrointestinal distress, particularly taken in this form with some coconut, date, and carob. So 3 ingredients. So I'm going to start off right away here, and I'm just going to show you the simple way. Got this at the Asian market here, and it's real nice and sharp. So this is one of the methods of cutting a coconut, which is a little bit safer and easier for most people. Sometimes I can just go straight in. I'll use this and bop, 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 make 5 cuts, and then pry it off. But that's not as safe as this simple method here. And this also can be used in a certain way to create a little umbrella, which is kind of cool too if you're entertaining or something like that. You make a cute little thing, and then you take the corner edge here and then you can pry it right up. Real simple, right? And that's a safer way for most people. And see, there you go, can even keep it sealed. Now I've got this nice piece of coconut meat. So I'm going to toss the coconut meat and the water. Now if you want to go low fat, you can leave out the coconut meat. But the coconut meat is one of the best sources of fats for human beings. It's very easily emulsified, it lubricates, digests easily, and provides actually a much easier source of energy than, say, an avocado or hemp seeds or almonds. It just emulsifies and breaks down really easy and transfers over into energy producing glucose. So the beauty of this here is the coconut open, so I pour that into the blender or the pitcher here, and then I take a really fine strainer, so that, because you'll see in the bottom, if you look, a few little wood chips just from the opening process itself. Then you strain it here through the fine mesh, and all the little wood chips end up in there. So you want to make sure you get, when you strain coconut water, that you have a nice fine strainer for that. Okay, now there's other size strainers, but if the strainer is too loose or the spaces are too wide within that strainer, you will get some of the wood chunks, and you just really want to avoid that if you can. Anyway, here's step 2, and anybody can learn this. What you do is you step on back and you develop your confidence, and then boom, put it through. Now sometimes when people first start out, they need to kind of hit at it a while, or take it outside if you need to, if you don't have that much skill, but eventually you can learn how to get into one of these things pretty easily. And then you take a coconut buddy here, which is really helpful, not necessary, but it's much easier than a spoon, as you'll see here in a minute. You just stick it right in there, go around the edge, and then it comes off real easily. And then what you do is you go around the edge here, you take off any wood chips that are on the coconut. This one came out really well. And you can rinse it if you're real nitpicky, but for the most part I don't see any wood chips, and then you can tear it or cut it into chunks for the Vitamix, and the smaller that you make them, the easier it'll blend. And I'll do this other one here, and then you'll see how just so simple this is. Carob, I would say, dude, carob is 1,000,000 times my favorite compared to chocolate. I think some of you know that about every 6 months I'll eat a little chocolate just to remind myself why I don't. Maybe I have sensitive adrenals or a sensitive nervous system, but also my body's so clean that the cleaner your body is, the more you notice things that are more abrasive to the cells. But I did do a little chocolate binger 3 or 4 months ago, and went out and made this great video. So I'm not going to say that chocolate doesn't work for like women or energy. It's a stimulant, you know, for sure. And there's nothing wrong with that, no judgment. But this is more nurturing, nourishing, anti-inflammatory, zero stimulation, just pure pleasure. And the carob is sweet, delicious, mineral rich, and very soothing and very delicious. So it's just, for me, there's no doubt that it is definitely a better substitute for regular consumption than cacao. And if it was me, I would probably put in 1 date or no dates. This is for the ladies though, and they might like it a little sweeter. For me, I might even just put in 1. So if you don't like it as sweet, you can just put 1 date or no date, because there's sweetness in the coconut meat, there's sweetness in the water, in the coconut water for sure. But then the date just kind of lifts it up to another level. If you have the kids, if the kids are going to do it, then I would definitely say that a couple of dates would be good, because the kids usually like it a little sweeter. And then what I've got here, anyways, I had 1 coconut already in there. So this is the meat and the water of 2 average sized coconuts, 2 dates, and then a half a cup of carob. And that's how simple that is. I need a lid here. Now, you can branch off of this if you want. You could throw, if you're an athlete, you could throw some hemp seeds in there. If you wanted to do something crazy, you could put a drop of peppermint essential oil. You could throw vanilla in there. You could even throw a little cayenne in there, yeah, and kind of give it a nice little pop, you know. So there's a lot you can do with just this base. Now, me personally, I probably prefer to just drink it like this. Nice and simple. If you took out some of the water out of here and just used the meat and took less water, you could make a chocolate sauce, which isn't chocolate, it's more of a carob sauce. And then you could dip your bananas in that, dip your apples in that. Yum, yum, yum. You get the point. It's endless with these raw foods, what you can do. I love raw foods. You need to know that. And I'm doing everything I can to just share that art with the world, you know, and because there is detox, and there is building, and there is maintenance, and there's long-term raw vegan success, and there is enhancement and regeneration, and there is illumination through mineralization, there is flexibility, there's the relinquishment of excess weight, there is the relinquishment of disease conditions, and each little aspect of the ability to use raw foods is a little bit different. You know, some young men want to put on some muscle and build testosterone. Well, there's a raw vegan way to do that. Although I don't really like the word vegan, that's just kind of where I am, because I find that I'm not necessarily into animal products, unless you consider the bee products an animal product, you know. I'm just saying. So the raw vegan thing has a lot of different multi-faceted angles to approach it from, and my intention here has been to share this art, because I do make some great crackers, but I'm also able to just drink orange juice for several days at a time, and that's totally different thing. Crackers with avocados and olives and jalapenos and lettuce and cucumber and tomato, boom, is a different aspect of raw foods than, you know, orange juice for 3 or 4 days at a time, or water fasting. So I've just been really I've been struggling inside, just to like, who am I? What am I here to do? And I just keep coming back to saying, Dan, just, you know, like, all I know how to do is just keep pumping out videos, and hopefully in some way it like helps somebody somewhere, without trying to overthink it too much and trying to be too like professional, or edit the videos, or have specific content, or be so you know, bullet points, and you know, some of those would be good, and I will be doing some of those as well. But hair care, raw vegan hair care, you know, look at my hair now. It's like I've been using that stuff every day, and it's like, boom, my hair is just turning into this epic thing, and I'm like, wow, this stuff. I mean, I knew it worked, but it's like really, really working, because I'm using it like every day, and it's really cool. So anyways, just there's raw vegan everything. There's raw foods, but then it's not even about the food. It's about making your life good. And it's about learning and educating yourself. And there's so much inside of me after all these years of 13 years of raw food, inspiration and knowledge and a dedication to it. And I've been 100% raw for 6 months. And I finally figured out what it's going to take to do that. And it isn't the socially and politically correct raw food diet. You know what I mean? Because I tried all those things that were the politically correct raw food dogmas, low fat, this fat, superfoods, everything. And finally, there was a few little things that I had to learn that allowed me and enabled me to really stabilize 100% raw, with no cravings, no issues, no more inner conflict, always having energy. So I look forward to doing my best to share that with you. And then I'll tell you, before I start this up, and I'm sorry I took so much of your time, but it's my heart does this to me. It's like there is another level beyond anything I've ever even started to touch into, and I gotta just let that, it's perfecting itself in me right now, but I just hope that you'll subscribe and keep watching these videos and learning and sharing them with your friends, but just mostly just supporting me and pulling this stuff out of me. You know, it's not only my passion, and it's my art, and it's my mission in life, and it's my job, it's my income. It's all of everything to me. So I gotta keep this channel just as it is, doing what I do with this, mentioning stuff, plugging stuff, adventure videos, a lot of videos at the house, just working this thing so that it works out for me and you, and hopefully anyone that can benefit by this stuff that's happening here while this camera rolls, that it's just, you know, keeps on coming out there and just doing what I do, you know. So thank you very much. I'll wheel this up, and I don't know where all that came from, but just, it's really basically in me saying in one sense or another, I love raw foods, and I love, like, people, and I just want to do a good job, and that's it. And I don't know where this is all coming from. But I get so frustrated because I don't think people realize how much I appreciate you, the viewer, that gives me this amazing purpose that keeps me occupied 24/7, 365. And the reason why that is because when this camera shuts off, I don't stop, you know, developing myself as a human being, you know. I don't just put on a show here on the camera, you know. This is real to me. And in some way or another, I hope that transmits itself through that camera, so that you can really be inspired by a dude who believes in clean eating and awakening the cells. And there is so much more to come. Right now I'm reeling from the implications, like, wow, this is really what I'm supposed to teach. So many things to where people can get to a higher level, to where they never thought possible, on every level of their life. I'm a long-winded son of a gun. I realize that. Can't help it. This is my time to connect with life, people that actually, like, if you're still here, then you're the person I want to connect with. And it means the world to me. It's everything to me. My whole life evolved around it. It's almost like I'm a little bit insane. Thanks for your time there while I blend. I know a lot of people edit that kind of thing out. It's not as smooth as I'd like it, but I'm going to throw a couple ice cubes in there because Sophia likes it a little cool. So that's another idea, a couple ice cubes. Anyways, I hope you got educated. I was going to make a short video. Yeah, right. Anyways, subscribe to these videos if you haven't already. Get ready for that next level. Life Regenerator 5.0 is this coming. I can feel it, you know. Every time I'm on a water fast, that's what happens. I'm out. Peace. Seriously though, guys, how is the chocolate milk? What do you think?
Hers is like a chocolate smoothie.
And then we thinned Sophia's out with a little bit more coconut water because she
Yeah.
wanted hers a little thinner.
Like milky. So we just added coconut water and then mixed in some of them.
So what I'll
So
do
good.
is I'll add onto this video that if you want it to be a little thinner like Sophia's, leave one of the coconut meats out or both. And if you want it to be a nice thick smoothie, put all the coconut meat in there. Epic,
Meal.
huh? It's delicious and it's very
It's
nutritious.
very good. Yeah, it tastes it tastes really balanced.
Cool, good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And thank you all very much. Again, subscribe and I'll talk to you
Hello.
soon. Give this video a thumbs up. Peace.